Hey, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning. Trying to get my throat working here. It's been an interesting morning already. My wife's got to take her car into the shop because for some reason she has a flat tire this morning. I've already changed out tires, but she's got to take it in to see what else is going on with it because it keeps reading her tires are low, even though I went out and checked them all, and they all had between 35 to 37 pounds of pressure in them, and they're only rated to 35. So something's going on with them. I don't know what's going on. And I mean, if it was me, I don't worry about it. I don't worry about what the indicators say. As long as I go out and I double check my pressure and my pressure's all good. Morning, Paul. Morning. Going to be a long work day. What's going on that's going to make it a long work day for you? I mean, got got a lot of deliveries or something going on today. I mean, is it long as in long in hours or long as in oh my god the nonsense I'm going to have to put up with today? It's going to absolutely destroy my day for me. I mean, I've seen it go both ways, and it's when the uh, day's going to be so full of nonsense that it's going to make it that 8 hours feel like 20 hours. I've had plenty of those days. Excuse me. My down trucks and people. Oh, yeah. When vehicles are down, that does have a tendency to make things suck. Yeah, I, I'm going to wait for some people to come on because I'm going to have a question here that I need an answer to, and the question is this: I've got a coworker that when I go in, I say hi to and greet them and everything else, and I get a mumbled response. Then they go, and this is the person I'm relieving, and they go and hide in the back room, in the break room. And I do not see them again to get any kind of a turnover until after I've been in there for about 15 minutes. And I show up to work about a half hour early. I actually get there even earlier than that, but I sit out in the truck until 30 minutes before. And I get in there, I do my thing, and she about quarter till the hour. So 15 minutes before she's supposed to go home, she comes out. She's got her lunchbox in one hand, her coat in the other, and whatever other crap she's leaving with. And she goes, and her answer is, and then next words I hear her say is, "Can I leave now?" There's no, "How are you doing? What's your day been like? Oh man, tonight we've had this happen, we've had this happen." Or it's been a boring night, just a couple of phone calls and that's it. All the guests are snuggled down deep in their beds and they're leaving us alone. It's absolutely nothing. The only words I hear out of her is a mumbled hello and "Can I leave now?" And I'm at the point now where I'm not even going to bother greeting her. I'm not going to say anything to this woman until she says something to me. I'm not talking about a young woman here. I'm talking a woman in her late 20s, early 30s, maybe. So, I mean, we're not talking about a young lady. We're talking about an older woman. Now, a little bit background. A couple of weeks ago, she got mad at me. I talk with my hands. Even now, talking into a microphone, my hands are going about. I mean, I do talk with my hands. And one day, a couple of weeks ago, I came in and I asked her how things were going, and she told me something. I said, "Okay." I said, "Is all that in the notes?" And she said, "Well, no, I'm telling you." I said, "No, you're supposed to put that in the notes." And I'm point my hands at her, and then I point my hands to the computer to where she's supposed to type in the notes. It's nice to get the verbal brief, but it's also nice to have something in the computer in the notes so that I can refer back to it 6 or 7 hours later, especially with my gabapentin ridden mind. So I'm really tempted to just, I'm not going to say nothing to her until she says something to me. Just let her understand that. Let her feel what it's like. Now, see, when somebody walks in, especially when my relief walks in, they don't get 3 steps in the door, and "Hey, good morning to you. It's good to see you." Because I'm happy to see somebody. I'm happy to see my relief walk in the door because that means in 20 minutes I'm going home, because she walks in the door about 20 till. And then she goes in the back room, and this is, she goes in the back room. She puts away her lunch. She hangs up her coat. She changes her shoes, puts on her comfy tennis shoes, and goes back to the bathroom, does her tinkle tinkle or whatever, washes her hands, and comes up, and we give turnover. She counts the drawer down while I'm sitting there. And that's something else. I mean, I would never have somebody count the drawer, my drawer that I'm turning over to them, without me standing right there to make certain they're counting everything in that drawer and they're not miscounting. Or if there's an issue, I'm right there to see what, hey, let me recount that and see if I made a mistake. Or to see if a couple of bills stuck together, especially new bills. New bills are horrible about sticking together. So, I mean, I would never go in the back until after at least the drawer's been counted. So, anyway, I know that's minor, but it gets irritating. To me, it gets irritating as hell, because to me, that's just unprofessional. That's just unprofessional. It fosters a horrible work atmosphere. And she said she doesn't like the way I talk with my hands. Well, I don't like her Jamaican accent. It makes it difficult for me to understand what she's saying. But I've learned to live with it. That's her. She can't change her accent no more than I can change the fact that I talk with my hands. But anywho, so what else is going on good in the world? Last night I was watching the news with the wife. See, I'm waiting for other people to show up, Paul. Because remember, I've got the link posted and pinned. And anybody that wants to pop on can pop on. And anywho, they the news, I think it was ABC. ABC, breaking news. Michigan, University of Michigan coach fired. Or Wolverines coach fired. Or Wolverines coach fired and then and arrested. I'm looking at the wife. I said, really? That's breaking news? I talked about that at 9:00 this morning. That's not breaking news. That news is almost, that news is old news. How can you call that breaking news? I don't understand. But to them, I guess that was breaking news. It don't make no sense to me, but it did to them. Anyway, so just, and then we're sitting there and they're talking about, I think it was Indiana. They voted, 12 Republicans voted with Democrats not to do any redistricting mid census. Wait another 5 years to do the redistricting, with the new census. And they pop up. Well, Texas is doing the mid districting, mid census districting, which led California want to do it and led to all these other things. And I'm sitting there going, So they get through the news story, and the wife, she's looking at me. She goes, well, what's going on with that? And I said, well, first of all, the man lied to you by omission. She goes, what do you mean? I said, he popped off there about Texas, and how Texas led the way for all this problem. She goes, yeah. Why'd Texas do that? I said, because they were ordered to by the Biden Department of Justice for violating the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. And she said, what? I said, yeah. The Biden administration Department of Justice ordered them to do it because they had violated the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution with the way it was drawn. And she said, well, why didn't they tell us that make that clear that Texas didn't just do it to do it. They did it because they were ordered to by the previous administration. I said, because they want, because Texas is basically a Republican state, and they want to make it look like it was done by Republicans in order to, for political reasons instead of being done by court order. All these other states are doing it for political reasons. California did it because they saw that Texas was going to pick up more Republican seats and lose Democratic seats. So they're wanting to do it to make certain that they would have more Democratic seats in the Congress. And I just explained the whole mess to her and how it affects the the college, the electoral college and such. She sat there and she's just shaking her head. Finally, she goes, "Just." She looked at me. She goes, "All right, shut up." She goes, "You've gone too more deep into this than what I really wanted to know." But yeah, I mean, it was funny in a way because she's sitting there saying, they've come out with a lot more information than what I care to know. But like she said, the newscaster lied by admitting the fact that all the other states are doing it for political reasons, while Texas was ordered to do it by the courts. Which, in and of itself, I mean, when it happens that way. But other than that, I mean, it's how much fun can the world have? Our European colleagues are a little upset with us. It's like, okay, with the new plans that Trump has put out. And I'm like, all right, you want to get upset about it? That's fine. Get upset about it. But understand that, you guys are, your international policies have gotten so bad that we can no longer trust you to follow what had been. You're no longer doing what you used to do. And when the problem is still there, then there's still a problem there. Um, I've been news on news. I've been called a racist and a Islamophobe again. When people don't understand, there's a young lady. Let me see if I can find her post here. Oh, I post them to X? I think I posted them to X. Let me check. Oh, nothing that I really wanted to post has been posted for the past couple of days. Oh, that sucks. That don't make me happy at all. And let's see. So let me try to find. Okay, God, I hate going to TikTok, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Open that up. News about TikTok. TikTok's mental health rabbit hole. It's not in your head. TikTok is fun. I fully have to admit with that. TikTok is definitely fun most of the time. Um, I even though they have dragged the slider to fit the puzzle. What? Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay. Good God. Suspicious act. All these people are getting so stupid here. Oh, oh, good. I tell you, one thing I've got to do. I've got to go through my email. I've got over 2,600 emails. I've got to go through those and get the and um, okay, fine. Okay, so let's see here. But anyway, I like I said, now I have been accused of being a racist and an Islamophobe because I honestly believe, by reading and listening to what comes out of their own mouths, what comes out of their own mouths, uh, the fact that the idea for Islam is to take over the whole world. That is what I believe they're going to do. What the long term goal is, and continuing on with what was said yesterday, last night, I got rather heated. I actually got some death threats over it because people, they just they if you disagree with me, you disagree with me. That's fine. I can live with that. But to say you're going to come to my house, you're going to find out where I live, and you're going to come to my house and take care of me. You're going to come to my house and beat the crap out of me. You're going to come to my house and kill me. And you know they don't believe that, and they don't want to believe that what's coming out of these people's own mouths, that the Islam's goal is to be in every house in the world, and that people like you and I who will never become Muslim, that they want us dead. These are words coming out of their own mouths, out of the mosque, out of their imams, out of their teachers, out of their street people. And when you show it to them, they sit there and say, well, we've got, you Christians have got your own radicals. Oh, you're absolutely right. And I am definitely that Midwestern turned Florida man. Oh, somebody noticed that I carried concealed. I must have bumped up against something and tugged my shirt a little tighter than usual, and they could see the outline of my gun. And this is one of them people that, why are you carrying a gun? Why do you have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen? Well, in case I have a fire. Well, in case somebody tries to do something that warrants getting shot. That's why I carry a gun. And they they didn't, well, who, they didn't like that answer. They said they're going, and who are you to determine they weren't getting shot? I said, well, when they decide to take a shot at me first, that tells me they want shot. Paul, I've had other people tell me that they don't like, people who talk with their hands. And, it's like, well, you got to get used to the fact that that's something I do. I talk with my hands. If you don't like it, well, get used to it. I don't like that. I don't like everything about you either, but I get used to it. The wife's been, Christmas is right around the corner. It's less than 2 weeks away. Unbelievable. Christmas is less than 2 weeks away already. What are, what are, I'm not ready for it. Well, in a way I am, but I'm not. I mean, I've gotten all the gifts bought that I'm buying. Even just in case they decide to have a Christmas party at work, gift exchange and all that good crap. I even bought stuff to deal with for that. So, I'm pretty well carried out, for and ordered my sister. Well, my sister already got her birthday and Christmas gift when I bought her that computer. Uh, I'm still I'm still considering on sending her a one of these little giant wide stepped ladders. If you haven't seen them, they are amazing. I bought one for myself because I just needed a better step ladder than what I had. One I felt more comfortable climbing on. And these little giant wide step 4-step ladders, they are fantastic. I thought I did not know everything that Little Giant carries. I was not aware of everything they carry. Uh, but yeah, if you really want a nice wide, and I mean the thing's rated to 375 pounds, so that's that's a great thing to be about. Let's see here. Where's the one I got? Where's their 4-stepper at? There it is. No, I did not I'd pay this price for it. Open image. I want that. See, those steps are very wide and very long, and they're it's a lightweight ladder. I'm surprised how lightweight it is. Uh, and that the vertical bars here, that's what you when you put the ladder out and then you lift this, that locks everything. Nothing will fold as long as that's up. You put those down, you lift on this top step, it folds in on itself and put it away. And the thing is light. I mean, it is really lightweight. The wife loves it. If you're getting a little unsteady on your feet, or you get a little older where you're not as comfortable climbing a normal step ladder with the 3 or 4 inch wide steps, consider investing the money into this little thing because it's absolutely amazing. I love it, and I used it to put up security lights above my garage doors the other day. Now I'm 6'3", and uh, I was standing on the second step from the bottom and able to reach above the garage door with no problem. Now the wife, when she went up there to take a look at it, she's 5'3", and she went up to the third step. So, but if I've got to do any thing interior interior of the house, get up to duct work or replace ceiling fans or anything like that, this thing would be absolutely perfect for it. So that just oh damn squirrels. The wife's pets. I don't know why she feeds them in the driveway. Well, feeds them up in the front yard. That just doesn't make good sense to me, but she does, and it is survivable. Squirrels are neat. Have you ever seen how you take away the fur off their tail and their tail is not? It's just a bone sticking up. It's like a rat's tail. The those things are okay. So what's going on here now with my phone? Well, it's something I'll have to deal with later because I've got no clue what's going on with my cell phone right now. It's sitting here flashing at me, and it's making no sense as to why it's flashing at me. It's on YouTube. I use it for my secondary channel or my second screen so that I can still read chat and such when I'm off of it on my computer. Have do you, Paul? Do you play any games on your cell phone? I I have a game that is supposed to be free to play with no commercials, no ads. Because one thing I hate is having ads on my, be trying to do something, all of a sudden an ad pop up on my phone. but I'm not necessarily going to buy a game to play on my phone. So I got playing this game, they advertise this no ads, free to play, yada yada yada. Is it free to play? Yes. You don't have to spend any money. That's true. They're not lying. But if you want to do anything besides be the lowest tier competitor on the system, you've got, you're going to spend money. And I sat here and figured it up. Just to do the bare basics would cost me about $300 a year. And I know there's people that have, by looking at what they've got, they've had to spend thousands, not hundreds, but thousands, well over $1,000 to play this game. So if anybody's got any recommendations for a nice, free, and no, I'm not talking Candy Crush. No, absolutely. I like tower games, a nice tower game or something like that. That free to play. And I understand a free to play game is, it's not going to be the best game in the world, but I just needed to, to kill 10 minutes. Something I can use to kill 10 minutes. And I'm so tired of playing solitaire and backgammon. I mean, that's, oh, anywho. Let's see. Our buddy Spanky, he had a vet appointment the other day. And the vet called the wife at work and said that she needed to come by and pick up some medicine and some canned dog food. Because you got to put this medicine in that wet dog food. And so it can't go into kibble. The boy picked up hookworms somewhere. And the only thing I can think of, because I looked up how dogs get hookworms, it's from stagnant water. And we've got a container that we keep filled with water out in the out on the front patio, so that when we let him out, he can go out and be outside and have something to drink. So we're assuming that that's where they can also pick it up off of their feet from licking their feet after they've been outside, or nosing around fecal matter. So they gave us, well, they didn't give us. The wife bought 2 cans. I mean, vets don't give you nothing. Give us 6 little plastic bags filled with white powder that we have to mix into his dog food. But they gave us 2 cans, so 6 packets. That means I've got to divide each can up into thirds, which is about 4.5 to 5 ounces per breakfast. That's what we decided to do, give it to them for breakfast. And so I mixed that in with this dry kibble that, I weighed it out, got out my scales, weighed it out, divided it in thirds, then mixed in the medicine, poured the medicine on it, mixed that all together, then mixed that in with this kibble, got his kibble all mixed up with this wet dog food all over it. This dog, he ate all the wet food. Don't get me wrong. He ate it all. And he spit out all the kibble. He he either licked or sucked the wet food off the kibble and spit the kibble back in the bowl. Now, I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm looking at that, watching him eat this morning, and I'm making our breakfast, and then when I put something on the table, I'd take a look over at his bowl, and the kibble is the same amount, but the wet food is disappearing. So it's like, okay, you silly dog, you. Oh, where's that cream? Anyway, boy, nobody's showing up today, Paul, except for you and me. And you're out working, so you can't get on the uh, so you can't come in and sit there. Do you have your passenger with you again today, like you did yesterday? Just you today. Yeah, when I delivered for Krispy Kreme, I started when I first started working for Krispy Kreme. I was delivery, going to work at 11 o'clock at night and get off about 8 in the morning. Good. I had to load my truck, count up all the donuts, and then load the truck. And I absolutely preferred it when I didn't have anybody with me. Yeah, you're right. It is normal dog behavior. And so that's, I guess, that's the important thing to getting your dog into seeing the vet. And see what I didn't know. See, dogs can pass that onto you. You know, now see, I don't let him lick me. I don't let dogs lick me. Or if he does lick me, then I go and wash my hands or wash whatever part of my body that he's licked, which is usually going to be my hands. But he's not a licker, which makes me happy because I honestly I don't like dogs who do lick you. But I did not know until I was reading up on the hookworms that they can pass it on to you, which that sort of surprised me. But then it shouldn't have because animals have been passing diseases on to humans forever. So, you know, but once again, I'm not puppies. I just love them. I do like animals, always have. Uh, I'm not fanatical. I mean, I don't call them fur babies. My wife does. She goes, "Oh, come to mommy," or "Your daddy's looking for you." No, I'm not. No, I'm not looking for my son. Dogs are great companions. Cats are great companions. But I mean, they're still a pet. They're not my fur baby. I didn't give birth or sire them. Now, if somebody goes to mistreat my dog or my cat, I'm going to mistreat them. And if you're one of these people that say, you know, uh, I need you to clean your couch before I come, when I come over to visit, because I don't want, because you let your dog on the couch. mm, You don't need to come over to visit. My dog lives here and he sleeps on my couch. That's not going to be a thing. That's one thing when I worked with Krispy Kreme is the racks would be already built, but I would still have to double check them to make certain that every order was right. And I had, let's see, I could fit, normally I could fit 60 orders on a truck, and I had a front half of a route and then the back half of the route, and with about 60 orders on each half. So each rack would hold 20 dozen donuts, which was normally 3 orders per rack. Oh, I I hate micromanagers. I absolutely hate micromanagers. If you're going to come out and tell me how to do my job, then and you think it's because I don't know how I'm doing. Is that a new person that's coming in to do the micromanaging? That's what I found is usually you get a new boss in or somebody new in management, and they've got to make their mark. Let everybody I've got to prove to you that I'm your boss, and or I'm higher on the food chain than you are, and you got to do what I tell you to do. And that never lasted long with me. It never lasted long with me. I would tell I had the owner's son one day come in, and I had taken all my paperwork and I had it filed the way it was supposed to be filed and everything. And he came in, and this was my monthly reports. And he came in and he just tore my monthly reports up, got them all out of order and everything else. And I told him, I said, hey, you got these all out of order. You need to put them back in order before you put them back in the filing cabinet. And he said, oh, no, they're fine just the way they are. I said, okay, I'm going to tell you this one time and one time only. If any research needs to be done on that month, don't come to me and have me do it or ask me to do it, because I'm going to absolutely refuse. It, Of course, it had to happen. We had 3 credit card disputes, and they put the credit card disputes on my desk and said, "Yeah, we need to have the paperwork researched on these." I looked at them and I handed them over to the boss's son. I said, "There you go." And the owner looked at me and he goes, "What do you mean? That's your job to do that." I said, "Not for that month, it's not." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Ask him. Ask your son why it's not my job for anything doing any research for for last month." And he looked at me, the boss's son, the owner's son looked at me and he goes, "Joe, you're going to research." I said, "No. As far as I'm concerned, you can lose that money. I'm not doing the research." And the owner's looking at me like he's going, "You've never done this before. What's your problem?" I said, "Well, since your son's not going to tell you, I will." He got into last month's paperwork and he took it all out of order to where, in order to research those, instead of being able to look at the date of the charge, you're going and just, if it's in the last half, go to the last half of the paperwork. If it's in the first half of the month, go to the first half of the paperwork. You're going to have to go through every piece of paper for the entire month. And I looked down at it and it was like, we had 800 rentals that month. I said, "You're going to have to look at 800. You're going to have to go through and look at all 800 invoices to find those," because he got in there and he took them all out of order and refused to put them back in and said there was no need to. The owner looked at his son and said, "What? Is he right?" And the boy had to look up at his dad and say, "Well, yeah." And he told me that he wasn't going to do any research for that month. It'd be on me. Daddy looked at his boy and said, "He's damn right it is. You get in there and you get it straightened out, and then you do all that research." Now, I didn't do myself any favors though, because of that. The owner's son held me from getting my pay raise for 4 months, and I had to go in and tell Daddy that I hadn't got my pay raise when I was supposed to get it. And Dad was not too happy that his son had held up my pay raise. I had been promised it. I was promised an annual pay raise, and he held it up for 4 months. "Oh, I forgot about doing it, and well, we had these expenditures this month, so we couldn't afford to give you your pay raise, and this happened and that happened." All that kind of nonsense. I loved it. Hey, morning, Neil. The idea of people being overworked and underpaid. I can believe it with you, and I could believe it with Paul. But I hear so many people say that, and I ask them what they do, to outline their normal day for me. And I'll freely admit, okay, um, if I just did the bare minimum for my job, then I would definitely be overpaid for what I do, for the basics of my job. Because I would spend most of my night sitting there watching YouTube or movies on Fandango and not doing anything else. The audit shift at most hotels, you know, if it wasn't for paperwork, you'd have nothing to do. And that paperwork, at least at our hotel, I can't speak for every hotel, but for our hotel, the nightly paperwork takes me about 35 minutes to do. I could probably do it quicker if I wanted to, but I try to write neatly. But yeah, there's a lot of people that just don't seem to get it, that they're overpaid for the amount of work they do. Now, are they overpaid for being at work? Believe me, there are nights I would much rather be home in my bed, especially at between 2 and 4 in the morning. Those 2 hours are the roughest hours to be awake for me. Those are the 2 hours where I have to get up and walk around because no amount of coffee is going to keep me awake for those 2 hours, except for the fact that I'm going back and pissing out the coffee that I drank the 2 hours before that. But yeah, that's my rough time between 2 and 4. And there's many a night. It's like, God, I could be home in bed and asleep right now. Can you get up that they still get there? Oh yeah. Well, see, the daddy, he doesn't pay. His kids get a paycheck. The ones that work for him in the hotel, have taken over the hotels, they get a paycheck, but it's not a huge paycheck. But daddy bought their houses for them free. So their houses, they own their houses free and clear because their dad bought them for them. So, and dad pays the electric bill, dad pays their cell phone bill, dad pays their cable bill, cable and internet, because he writes all that off on his business taxes. So, because they've got to have internet. They've got to have internet access because they've got to be able to access the security cameras and such from home. So that dad's got a real good tax man that works for him, and he writes off 90% of their living expenses, which I got no problem with. You own the business, and you got you've with owning the business comes certain perks. There's Sam's Club card, Uh, Charge card is paid for by the business. Because we do offer one of the hotels they does offer meals and such. So when they go buying, and again, personally, I got no problem with it. They own the business. Why? As long as it's legal by the tax man, I've got no problem with it because there's 10 of us just at the one hotel that derive our paychecks from those businesses. They're paying my when I worked there full time, they paid my house note, they paid our car notes, they paid my credit card bills, they paid my health insurance, they paid my internet, cell phones. Yeah, they paid all that stuff for me. Or I did, they gave me the money to do it in exchange for 40 to 50 hours of my time every week. Yeah, Dad's a smart man. He's exactly 10. He's just 2 weeks shy of being 10 years older than I am. So he's 76 years old, and he is as sharp as ever. Um, he came here from India with basically nothing, moved to Houston, got here, went to Houston, Texas, worked in a hotel there until we saved up enough money to come up here and to move to Florida and buy a hotel. Bought it, and I mean, bought a hotel at the foot of the bridge of an Air Force base. And that was his start. When he retired, he owned 5 hotels. None of them connected tax wise to any of the other ones. So if one went out of business, it had no effect on the other ones. So, I mean, and by all reasons, I'm going to say the man's a millionaire, most likely. Uh, for my for our 30th wedding anniversary, he gave the wife and I $3,000 just because we've been married for 30 years. They both the boys have learned a whole lot from them. The one boy's taken over the hotel business. The other boy, he got out. He didn't like the hotel business to start with, but he saved up what he did, and he started his own business. He had a UPS store, and he had it for 4 years and sold it for twice what he paid for it. I did not know that you could buy and sell UPS stores, but you can. You can buy a UPS store and then turn around and sell it. I did not know that was there. You're exactly right, Neil. This is like I said, this is an Indian family. That's why I've got all the Indian holidays on my phone because they are very, very religious. Except for the fact The one that the one boy is not as vegetarian. I mean, he doesn't eat a lot of meat, but he loves his bacon. And the he loves his bacon and he loves his hot dogs. He loves Sam's Club's hot dogs there that they sell. So, you know, and that's not an issue. You know, that's what he likes. That's what he likes. I'm not going to sit here and argue with him over it. But I mean, they're good kids. They really are. The two, well, I call them kids. They're both in their 30s, but I've known both of them since they were in high school. I've known the one since he was in junior high. So it's like one of their cousins. I've known her since she was in elementary school. I'm and she's now a X-ray technician and got two kids of her own. She's married. She's married to another Indian, and they went to India for their wedding ceremonies, and then she works as a X-ray tech, and she's in line to be head of the department. So, uh, but every time I remember helping her with her homework when I worked second shift. She'd come down and sit down in the uh, behind the front desk with me, and I'd help her with her homework. So now she's got youngins of her own, but I still think of her as like I hate to say it, I still think of her as that kid. You know, uh, I still think of her brother as being a snotty little brat. I honestly, I really don't know what he's like anymore, but I remember him as a snotty little brat. But okay, I don't know what else is there to talk about here today. I mean, Trump had a lousy day yesterday. You know, Republicans in the House voted with the Democrats on the unionization of federal employees, and that they should have the right to strike, and that you should not have a and that you should have a difficult time in firing them. You know, you get past that probationary period as a federal employee, man, and it's harder than hell to get fired. You actually have to try hard. I think it ought to be easier to fire a government employee. I don't think a government employee should be able to go on strike. You don't show up for your job 3 days in a row, you don't have a job no more. You miss a day's work because you went out and went on strike carrying a sign in front of your workplace or whatever. You don't have a job no more. It's not so much that I'm cranky, it's just, I don't like seeing people take advantage of other people. I don't like seeing employers taking advantage of employees. I don't like seeing employees taking advantage of employers. I don't like seeing government workers taking advantage of the fact that they work for the government and that somehow that makes them better than everybody else when they're getting their paycheck out by taking money out of my pocket. Well, I pay taxes too. Yeah, you pay taxes with the money that I gave you. You work for me, you son of a gun. And I don't care if you're the city manager. I don't care if you run the DMV. I don't care what your position is. You work for me. Cops, firemen, air traffic controllers should never be allowed to go on strike. Teachers should not be allowed to go on strike. There should be no such thing as a teachers union. The school board, which are elected people, should oversee the schools within that district. And the school board be ultimately responsible for what's taught in those schools. Oh, Neil, I love you, buddy. Yeah. Now, I don't like bad cops. Y'all know I don't like bad cops. But you don't fight cops on the side of the road. You fight them in the courthouse. If they're arresting you illegally, don't fight them on the side of the road. Take them to court. Now, if they come up to my front door, if cops come up to my front door, I hold my screen door closed. And if they've opened my screen door, I open the window next to my door and I talk to them through the screen of the window. I don't give them the chance to do that door, foot in the door trick to keep you from shutting the door on them. And I don't invite cops. I've only invited 2 cops into my house in my lifetime. Uh, one of them dealing with the shooting down the road, which a woman killed her mother, and one of them dealing with somebody that broke into my truck and my security. They actually broke into my truck 3 times, and I, gave them the security footage. But that's it. I don't let cops in my house. Do I have anything illegal in my house? No. But anything a cop sees, he can use. And if they're a slightly crooked cop, you know, uh, I saw something that by training I suspected to be whatever. So you take them to court. You say you got a warrant for my arrest? Show me the warrant. Well, it's in the car. It's on my tablet. Then you don't have a warrant. You're supposed to have a paper copy of a warrant with you that you can show me. Without that, you're not getting in my house. You say you have a warrant for my arrest? Show me that warrant. Because I'm not, remember, cops are allowed to lie to you. Now, if you're out on the streets and they come up to you and say, I've got a warrant for your arrest, don't fight them. Don't fight them on it. Because then, all they're going to do is tase your ass, beat you up. You'll go to the hospital first, get handed a bill, then you'll go to jail. And then you spend the next 5 years suing them after you've lost your job and everything else. Oh, sure, yeah, you may get a few $100,000 after when it's all said and done. But how much have you spent? You've been without a job because nobody's going to hire you because you've been arrested for something. And there's video of you beating up on the cops, fighting the cops over it. So nobody's going to hire you when they know who you are, nobody local. When they do the background check on you, it's going to pop up. So you don't find it. But have I been arrested in my life? Once. Have I gotten a speeding ticket in my life? Once. I fought the charges on the arrest and beat them. And the ticket, I took the class, paid the fine. And that's been almost 40 years ago. So, and the arrest was in Germany on a military base, so I don't have to worry about that. When I get asked if I've ever been arrested, I put yes in Germany, but the base is closed, so I've got no idea where the arrest records are now. So that's the way that goes. I grew up in a family of cops, Neil. My dad was a reservist. He was in charge of the reserves. My one uncle was the chief of detectives. Another uncle, which I couldn't stand, but he was the police commissioner. Another uncle was a beat cop. He was a sergeant, but this is back in the day when the cops still had beats that they walked. So, yeah, it was, well, he patrolled. He was in a car. He didn't have to walk anymore because he was a sergeant. He got a car. So, I mean, it's not that I don't understand what cops go through. And I see on TV what cops go through and what people do. But there's too many cops out there that don't need to be cops. They're abusive. They're short-tempered. They lie they're willing to lie at the drop of a hat. It's like that guy that uh, cops claimed they had had a warrant to search his house, and he said, "Show me the warrant." They're beating on his door, and he says, "I'm going to sue you and the department." Well, the cops and that was very plain on the audio, on the video, the body cam that the cops were wearing. Very plain. In fact, one of the female cops there, the one of the male cops, that's what he's saying, and the female cop said, "Well, he's saying he's going to sue us." Well, some of the cops went to a judge and said and swore out a warrant saying that he said he was going to shoot them. He spent a year fighting those charges. And it wasn't until he spent a couple, 3 days in jail. He lost his job. His life went to shit after that. And it wasn't until he finally got the body cam and turned it over to a news station, television station, news department. And the news department aired it and sent a copy of it to the district attorney, and the district attorney dropped all charges, saying that, "Oh, well, upon further review, the da 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 da." It's like, what, you didn't review the body cam before the news department turned it out to you and before they aired it? So yeah, I mean, I've got plenty. There's plenty of stuff out there to dislike cops about. Here in Florida, they passed a law here not too long ago, and DeSantis signed off on it, and I think it's absolutely wrong, saying that you have to stay 25 feet from cops if you're recording them. Well, I'm sorry, but if I've got the cops in my face, I've got the right to record them. But under this law that they passed, the cop could say, "I can't record them because I'm within 25 feet." And if a cop comes walking up on you, do you have to keep backing up as long as the cop is walking up on you if you want to record them? There's too many things that these cops can twist and turn on that law to arrest people for. Simply, yeah, you're going to beat the charge, but you're not going to beat that trip downtown. And that's all the cop wants. They want to put you in cuffs and take you downtown and get you fingerprinted and your mugshot taken. And now you're forever on record as having been arrested, even though the arrest was wrong. Hey, morning, old guy. Seven and a half hours sleep? Wow. I can't remember. Well, yeah, I can remember the last time I got 7.5 hours sleep. I was sicker. I was so sick and everything else that the wife woke up, and I'm usually up an hour before she gets up. Usually on my second cup of coffee by the time she crawls out of bed. But the wife woke me up. I got up, made her breakfast, and went right back to bed. And she left notes around the house. Call me when you wake up. And she went into work and told her boss at work that if I hadn't called her by I think she said 9:30 or 10 o'clock, then she was going to come home to check on me. But I called her like at 8:30. I finally woke up enough to give her a call at 8:30. And now I went back to bed right after I called her, but yeah, I think that day I ended up sleeping like 20 hours throughout the entire day. It's just one of those days where I could not get, I mean, I had no energy. I just crawled into bed and stayed there. But man, it is, but if you're feeling good and you're waking up and you're feeling good and you got energy and everything else, man, God bless you. That's when things are going right for you. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having that be that way. Well, I tell you what, I know you just got here, old guy, but I have completely run out of things to talk about. Unless you've got your mic ready and you're ready to come on, I'm just going to go ahead and end it. No, no, absolutely. You keep that stuff far away from me. No, uh-uh. I can see that on television, and that's as close to it as I want to get. Mm, mm. That stuff is white death. That's death that falls from the sky. No. When I left Germany, I was so happy to get stationed in Florida. I'd been happy to go to Florida. I'd been happy to go to Arizona. I could have gone back to Luke Air Force Base. I'd been happy as all get out because Phoenix doesn't get snow. I would have been happy as all get out. I was so glad to get, Florida. Yeah. We get snow every couple of years. We'll get a little bit of snow, enough for a light dusting on the ground. And if you go out and shovel all the snow in your yard and everything else, you have enough to make a 2 foot tall snowman. And that's plenty. 33 feet. The uh, the panhandle of Florida's been in a drought this year. We've had burn bans for the most part of the year. And this past month, we've gotten so much rain that they're talking about lifting the drought conditions. Now, first couple of days of that rain, it was that rain you don't want coming down sideways, sheets and sheets of wind, sheets and sheets of rain, rather, and just destroying stuff. I mean, it destroyed the greenhouse I put up for the wife. And, but now, uh, then we turn around and got what I always grew up calling a farmer's rain, just sort of a heavy drizzle. And it was constant for well over a week. They said we gotten 200% of the rain in that week and a half or so of rain than have historically gotten for the entire month. Wow. I hope nobody had homes or anything in that 33-foot crest. Nobody. I'm hoping nobody's homes got flooded out. Have you seen those? Are they? I don't know if they're inflatable or what, but they're because you can store them, but you can they link together and they're water barriers for around homes and such. But you can link them together in such a way that water can't get through them. But you can, but when you can store them, they flatten out or what are they called? Uh, Storable water barriers. That's not them. Where are the ones that I saw? Not none of those. I don't see them, but I don't see the pictures of them. Those are traffic things. Are they the quick dams? Maybe that's what it is. Quick dams. Yeah. That's what they are. It's a product called Quick Dam. And it's a flood barrier. Uh, we got an excavator clearing up a log jam on a bridge. Wow. Get past the commercial. Oh yeah, that water is jammed up way behind that those logs, isn't it? Did that damage the bridge any? I wanted. That is definitely something else. Man, look at that mess. That one excavator is going to be there for weeks trying to clear that mess up. Now, do they have somebody or something downstream to catch those logs, this debris that's floating down? Because it looks like he's just moving it to put it into the river to let it go downstream. So they got something downstream to catch them, or is it just, well, wherever they end up is where they end up? I mean, hell, is it going to get caught on the other bridge? Oh, so it's just going to head on out to the ocean? You would think that a lumber company or something to be there trying to get that wood to use it for some good. You would think, but I mean, I could be wrong as usual. I usually am. Hey, old guy. No avatar and can't hear you if you're talking.
Puget Sound.
There, I heard a sound.
No sound?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Now I can hear you. So what's going on with those? I mean, what's stopping those logs from getting caught up on that second bridge?
Second bridge?
Yeah.
Wider spacing of the pylons of the bridge, because the river actually, if you're on the log jam side of the bridge, the river goes under it,
Right.
and then it comes back around and goes under it a second time, and then swings back around and goes under a third time. The second and third time are actually where large boats are, not like tankers or stuff like that, but 60, 80, 100-foot boats. So all of that is actually
right
wide enough for the debris to get through. To where this particular, or that video I sent you, the pylons are so close together that the trees will just back up on it. The other two bridges, the pylons are so close to the shore, there's enough room for the debris to go through.
Okay.
Where the excavator was, there's pylons super close together.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the other bridge the cars heading the other direction
Right.
Yeah,
Now, the
they've
next
got, let's
bridge
see,
down,
one,
there's
two,
only 2
three,
pylons.
four. Yeah, there's only 2 pylons on the other side. Okay.
But
That's
like I said,
still a
we're 2
mess,
miles
though.
from Puget Sound, so all of that will just go out and the tankers have to deal with it.
Now, like I said, though, why, I mean, you'd think the lumber mills or lumber companies would be out there trying to scarf that stuff up, because that's free wood for them to use.
Well, the labor intensive to try and snag it. Number 1, number 2, most of that is not real big lumber. I mean, there are some really big trees in there, but a lot of that is only probably at best 24-inch diameter. It's not a very big tree.
Okay.
Not when you're talking lumber.
Right.
I kind of was in that arena in my last job. The trees that I cut up, we wouldn't cut on my tiny little timber mill. We wouldn't cut stuff much smaller than about 24 inches because it wasn't worth the time value return on investment.
Right. Well, it's like a few miles from us, there's they go down and they pull out cypress stumps out of the water.
Mm.
And they'll go down and pull up these old cypress stumps that have been in the water now for decades. And they bring them up and they cut them out and they cut them across it instead of lengthwise. And
Yeah.
they sell that wood for, I mean, they make good money selling that cypress stumps. Turn them into tables and that kind of crap.
Yeah, wasn't there a TV show where they used to go out in Louisiana bayou and fight the alligators, get trees off the bottom?
Probably.
All the cypress trees, because A, they're huge trees. B, they've been protected. Yes, they are protected in the water from oxygen causing rot. They actually will survive longer underwater than they will on land.
Right.
But I could have sworn there was some reality TV show about.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Bunch of hicks getting. Might have even been that Duck Dynasty thing. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I haven't watched TV in years. I just remember seeing a commercial or something. It's like, okay.
The only time I turn on the only time I'm watching or in the same room with the television that's on is when the wife is home. So, I mean, the TV remote's even on her end of the couch. So,
my wife has it on as background noise while she's working. And, I'll go up and have a 5-minute chat with her, and that's the extent of TV I get. I watch more TV on vacation with my brother than I do any other time.
I've finally gotten the wife to use. I bought her a real nice set of these Shokz headsets, Bluetooth headsets, and I finally got her to start using those and listening when she wants music playing in the house, to rather than blast the house with music, put on the headsets and put your phone down on the kitchen counter, and then you can listen to all the music you want without giving me a headache because you've got it so loud you can for you to hear it throughout the entire house.
Right.
That just, she'll literally give me a headache from turning on a radio or something and blasting the music throughout the entire house. And it's like, oh God, it's so loud. You're giving me a headache. Where's the set of earplugs?
Yeah, I'm going to have to
But
invest in a set of those here real soon, since I'm going to go skiing with my brother. And we're living in an RV. I don't do
oh
well with
yeah.
snoring.
Oh, so you're talking about earplugs.
Yeah. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, my wife and I sleep in separate rooms because she snores so bad.
My my mom and dad slept in separate rooms for that reason. Because my dad snored. My mom, they had two completely different beds. You know, I mean, both of them were nice beds.
Oh, yeah.
My mom slept in the one that they uh, bought when they first got married, and my dad bought another bed for him to sleep on. I mean,
Both my
for a few years, he
grandparents,
slept on the couch.
both my grandparents slept in different bedrooms late in life. My parents did. My wife and I do.
Now, technically, the wife and I do sleep in separate beds because we each have our own mattresses, but they're right against each other,
Right.
and we use the same headboard because both of our beds are one of these ones you can independently raise and lower the heads
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
foot. Okay, so I mean they're separate bed frames and everything else. They just connected to the same headboard.
Sure. My mom's bed was like that. She had a
So
California King where it both sides did it, and then Dad's bed also did it in his room. But they were
oh
old and they had planned way ahead for that.
man, I miss my California King.
I wish they made a
Yeah,
California fall. They make a
they,
California twin.
I mean that extra 6 inches of length. You doesn't sound like much, but man, when you're 6'3", having your feet not hang off the end of the bed is nice.
I can relate. I put one foot on either side of one corner and I sleep on the diagonally opposite corner.
Yep. Either that or else you have to sleep with your knees bent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the wife and I have a California Queen, and oh, is it nice? But I don't ever get to sleep in it anymore. Oh, I mean, I could if I just want to lay there.
Right.
Oh, did
But
you
yeah,
happen to see that? What's that? Hold on, Joy Reid is saying that Jingle Bells is racist.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, I heard that last. I didn't hear her reasoning for it. I
I
just heard
haven't
that
either.
she's making the proclamation that it's racist.
And I'm like, Jingle Bells, Batman smells. How is that? How is that racist?
Let's see here. Joy Reid, Jingle Bells. Okay, so let's pull up the newspaper article on this.
Ew. Oh, that's scary.
What's that?
What is something that is scarier in real life than how it's depicted in movies? Here's an example. When Mount Vesuvius erupted, the pyroclastic flow was so hot it flash boiled people's brains and they exploded out of their skulls.
Huh.
That's scary as fuck.
Okay, here we go. Former MSNBC host Joy Reid took issue with Jingle Bells, reposting the video that describes the beloved tune as racist. In a video, a man in festive attire stares at a plaque in Medford, Massachusetts, where James Lord Pierpont is believed to have written Jingle Bells. The video makes the argument that the song's early performances were used to mock black people. Goes on to discuss Pierpont's history using racialized dialect and slurs in other works. The clip also notes the writer later fought for the Confederate Army. The video says Pierpont was strapped for cash and wrote the original version, the one-horse open sleigh, for performances where white actors in blackface caricatured black people trying to participate in winter activities.
Wait a minute. So somebody that performed the song was racist, not the song itself. Okay, got it. Your point is moot, Miss Reed.
The story I must tell, Jingle Bells and a minstrel repertoire. Okay, so people sang this song in blackface.
Because the company
That
didn't
doesn't
have
mean
enough
that
money.
that doesn't mean that the song itself is racist. That just means somebody sang it while being racist. Oh, okay. Hamill has repeatedly said her work is being misrepresented, and she never claimed Jingle Bells was written as a racist mockery. She maintains her research focuses on the performance history of the song and where it originated, not on the intent in composing it.
Right.
This is from 2017. I never said it was racist now, Hamill told the Boston Herald in 2017, adding she was not looking to dictate which songs are sung at Christmas.
Again, Joy Reid is saying how it was performed by this particular company that didn't have enough money to hire enough people. So they painted up a bunch of people in blackface. Now, because of that company, the song itself is racist. That's what I got out of it. I mean, the article even said this company didn't have the money.
Now, Joy Reid is saying it's racist because it was sang by racist.
Okay. So Kumbaya is racist? Seems like it. Is Happy Birthday racist? Oh my.
Some of these people, if they can't make something out to be racist, they're going to make something up.
Well,
Just, I mean, it's like a couple years ago, the Let It Snow song, was about being raped.
no, that was It's Cold Outside, Baby.
Or it's cold outside, rather. You're right. You know, and, it was about the guy wanting to rape that woman. And that whole thing started because one person called into a radio station. And all of a sudden it's being pulled from everybody, from everywhere. And that only lasted for 1 year. And then everybody started playing it again.
It's funny because I say that to my wife all the time. I'm going to the grocery store. It's cold outside, baby. We'll both chuckle and off she'll go. My wife and I have because I bring up the stupid in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She and I will have these little one comment quips about it throughout the rest of our life because of that one thing that we laughed so hard about. And we laughed so hard about it's cold outside that has become part of our everyday parlance in our household.
I was going to show the wife that video that you posted yesterday. But I'm going to have to show it to her tomorrow, either tonight or tomorrow, because the
nose job.
Yeah.
I showed that to my wife and she just kind of furrowed her brow and just kind of squinched her eyes going, what? Uh-huh.
You don't know how bad my ribs hurt yesterday from laughing.
I can imagine. I can. As hard as you laughed, I can imagine.
Well, it's like this other woman, young lady, shall we say? I'm, early to mid 20s at best. Popped up asking why women are never given a DNA test after they've given birth. Only the fathers are given the DNA test. You can't deny that's your baby when it just popped out from between your legs.
Right.
But this young woman was absolutely serious about wanting to know why only fathers were afforded the option for a DNA test after birth of a baby.
She's not sure it's hers. That ain't my baby. That's my sister's baby.
That it just like you sit there and you have to look at her like, are you serious?
I look at society that way, not just individual people. I look at society and go, really?
Mm-hmm. I had somebody call the other day and asked me how much I want to sell my house for. And I said $500,000. And they said, really? And I said, you'd sell your house for $500,000? I said, yeah. And they said, okay. And how long would it take you to get out of there if we, when we do this? And I'm like, shit, maybe I should have said 700,000 instead of $500,000. Maybe
anytime somebody like that calls, I tell them $10 million.
And so the wife and I were talking about it. She goes, well, what are we going, if they come back and actually give us that $500,000, what are you going to do? I said, well, first of all, we're going to lose 90,000 of it because that's what we still owe on the house. I said, but after that, would probably be, find a small, get a rental storage unit to put everything in and rent a small apartment or something to live in for a couple of months while we house shop and look for a house to live in. And, looking at $300,000 for a place to live. So that still gives us $100,000 to live on to keep, to take care of business with. And they said, okay. I said, but no matter where we move, I still want a 6-foot privacy fence all the way around. And she looked
Yeah,
at me and she goes,
I just tell them 10 million and they can have everything in the house. All I get are my cars.
oh no, I couldn't give them everything in the house.
Oh, I would. $10 million, I can replace everything in the house.
I couldn't replace my military memorabilia and that kind of stuff. I could not replace that, and that has to go with me.
I mean, this kick-ass computer I now have, fuck it, go. I can buy 3 of them. I could buy 100 of them. Now,
That's after you ran bit cleaner through and scrubbed your hard drive, right?
oh, I just take the hard drives out. Whatever I can carry in a suitcase, that's what I'm taking.
Now I've got furniture that's 100 years old in this house that come down through the family that I wouldn't want to give up. Then
I've got furniture like that in my dad's house. I don't want it. I don't have anywhere to put it.
And I mean, I've got the stuff from my military career that I don't want to get rid of.
I honestly, I can't think of anything in this house that I could not part with. I really don't. There's nothing I can think of readily off the top of my head that has that much sentimental value that I would have to get it out of the house.
Oh man. And you want to call me the cranky old man? I've got stuff. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff in this house that's got sentimental value to me. Now, as far as appliances and that kind of stuff, yeah, I got no concern over that. But I mean, the photo books, the scrapbooks I've got, the videos of my son growing up, the videos and pictures of my parents and my brothers and sisters. I just would not want to give any of that up. I would not want to turn that over to some stranger who's going to do nothing with it but throw it in the trash.
Well, see, when I moved up here, I thought I was bringing everything that meant something to me.
Right.
And then I get up here and it really doesn't mean that much to me anymore.
Oh, Paul's saying that he's the one that called me a cranky old man, and now he's saying you're a cranky old man too.
Oh yeah, we're definitely both cranky old men. And we're proud of it.
I'm not going to say I'm cranky. It's just I'm more willing to speak my mind about things that bother me.
Now I'll own every ounce of cranky. I will. I have no problem letting you know how I feel.
Oh, I mean, I've got no problem letting you know how I feel. It's just I don't think I'm being cranky in doing it.
That's not how people see me. That's fine.
At least not all the time.
Oh, I know. I'm only cranky about, I don't know, an hour a day, maybe.
Now that deal with the my coworker, yeah, I have to admit that's being cranky. Um, she won't talk to me when I come in to work at night. So I've decided I'm not going to talk to her until she says something to me first. And if she don't like it, too
Well,
bad.
technically that's what got me fired. Was I wasn't pulling any punches with the owner of the company.
Mm.
He's just like, well, did you happen to check back here? I said, John, do you think I'm a fucking idiot? Do you really think I'm that fucking stupid? Next day, I was let go.
Well, I guess that answered that question, didn't it?
I was just like, and I should have known. I should have known, but I was to the point of frustration. I didn't care anymore. And I just laid into him. And I had noticed a quote unquote tick he had a couple of years ago. And it's whenever he is proven wrong about something, he starts laughing to try and alleviate the situation.
Right.
Because he will not admit he is wrong. And he'll just, oh, well, I wasn't really. Yeah, you were, John. And I wasn't putting up with it anymore. If he thought I was stupid, then I was going to do stupid stuff. If he didn't think I was stupid, then I wouldn't do stupid stuff. And then with this flood, I actually texted one of my old coworkers going, did y'all happen to get all of the equipment out of marshland? Which is where all of that flooding is going on.
Right.
There, we dug a hole about 4 feet deep, 6 feet deep.
Right.
And it collapsed due to the water table. That's how close to the river they are. They're about
Yikes.
12 feet above normal river flow. And we probably had $300,000 worth of equipment down there.
Mm-hmm.
Tractors, backhoes, skid steers, balers, lawnmowers. Oh, and the owner is out of the country.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah, he goes down to Belize every Christmas to his resort he's trying to build down there.
Okay.
So he leaves whenever we have flooding. Everybody runs around going, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And I'm like, get the equipment out of the flood zone. Of course, they wait till the last day to do it.
Right.
But yeah, the flooding up here is ridiculous. And I just don't get how. and it's the same down there in Florida, but I get it, but I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Why are you going to live on the beach if you know a hurricane's coming?
And
if
not be
properly. A hurricane comes through every year. Why are you living on the beach? I get it. Being on the beach is nice. But why are you going to jeopardize yourself like that? Is risk worth it?
There's one reason why I would not live on the beach. All right. And it's not hurricanes. Because I would have the house built in such a way that, the hurricane is not going to be a problem. Okay, which can be done. It's a little more expensive, yes, but it can be done. But because of the fact you have to, in order to do that, you have to build the house on pylons up off the ground, is why I would not do it, because I would not want to climb all them steps every day to get into my house.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to climb what would effectively be 2.5 floors of stairs every day. I mean, that's as bad as living in an apartment building and without an elevator.
Well, I also wouldn't want to have concertina wire across my back wall to prevent people from coming up from the beach to rob my house, because that would be uncontrolled access.
Yeah, that's true too.
And you would have to have a high wall. You'd have to have a sturdy gate. You'd have to have razor wire to keep people from climbing over the wall. And now you're living in a prison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get the, oh, I want to live by the river because it's peaceful, it's quaint, it's quiet, it's serene. It's also going to take your house when the river rises 33 feet.
Now, a friend of mine built a house on a river, or he traded the property he had on the beach for this other property to the it was a company that offered him the trade. You know, he got like 8 acres of land for his half acre that was beachfront. So, and they even built the house for him. They really wanted that acreage of land, or that quarter.
They really wanted that beachfront.
They really wanted that beachfront property. So what he had him do though was he basically built a moat around his house. That when the water rises and it gets over that hump, it fills this moat around his house.
There's a famous picture up somewhere in the Midwest, and a lot of people do it. They're along the Mississippi. They'll have their house out in the middle of a field that will flood, but their house is on a hill and they have a huge berm all the way around the house.
Mm-hmm.
So if water does flow up and over, it will flow up and over, but the house is still higher than the berm.
Right.
Because I can remember all the flooding on the Mississippi back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
That used to be an annual thing.
Yeah, not so much the last 20 years. I don't recall hearing a lot of significant flooding on the Mississippi.
Huh.
Now that I think about it.
You're looking it up, huh?
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to.
(2019) record-setting durations of flooding for over 200 days. I don't remember that. Apparently, the spring, summer of 24 brought moderate flooding. Don't recall hearing about that. I mean, they talk about the flood of 1927 when there was nobody living out there. Oh, I think it was 2 days ago now. We have a pretty famous fall up here called Snoqualmie Falls.
Okay.
at the height of water flow, 66,000 cubic feet a second.
That's what
Over
goes
the
over
fall.
the falls.
66,000 cubic feet per second. That's a lot of that's a lot of water.
Yeah, that's boy. Put a water wheel on that, boy. You generate some power.
Yeah, the last real big flood on the Mississippi that I remember would have been 1993. That was when the Great Mississippi and Missouri rivers both flooded at their confluence.
I
That was
After
the one I remembered.
I remember the Ohio River flooding back in the 70s and 80s. Then you know, mostly because of the snow melt, especially the snow melt of 78. But then, I mean, we had so much snow that year, going from 77 into 78, that like on our house, the snow is up to the second floor windows on the one side of the house.
Wow.
I mean, my bedroom was on that side of the house, and I could open up the window, reach out, and make a snowball.
Holy, I did not. Just looking into this 1993 flood.
Mm-hmm.
James Scott, a 23-year-old Illinois man, was convicted in 1994 for intentionally causing a catastrophe and sentenced to life in jail for his role in causing some of the worst flooding of the river in Quincy, Illinois. In an attempt to strand his wife on the other side of the river so he could continue partying, he removed several sandbags. The breach flooded 14,000 acres of farmland for removing a couple of sandbags. And got life in prison.
Well, he removed 2 sandbags.
I don't know how many. It says an attempt to strand, removed several sandbags from a levee. Several could be 3. It could be 100.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter was, he was dumb enough to remove sandbags just to keep partying.
Well, he was drunk. He didn't know what he was doing. He shouldn't be held liable for decisions he made while drunk.
His conviction was overturned in 97, but reinstated in 98. He's still in jail.
Boy, the state really went after him, didn't they?
Well, when you cause that kind of damage.
And what are you in jail for, boy? I flooded.
That caused the flood.
It caused the flood.
I picked up a couple of sandbags.
Lord, the stupid stuff people go to jail for.
Oh, yeah. That's half my entertainment on a daily basis.
Yeah, one of the stations a couple counties away was talking about how they've got a guy in Florida's got a guy in prison. He killed somebody when he was like 16 or 17 years old, a minor, and he got life in prison. Well, then they turned around and fought it, saying he was only a minor. So they did a re-thing, and he was resentenced to life in prison. Well, now they're fighting it again, and he's been in prison now for like 30 years. And they're saying, hey, yeah, he killed a woman when he was 16 or 17 years, but he's in his 50s now. Hasn't he paid for that crime that he committed as a minor? And it's like, I'm sitting there going, well, what's the odds of him? It's not like he was a career criminal. He did kill somebody, yes, but he has spent his most productive years now in prison.
But in his time there, he has also learned how to be a better criminal. Crime doesn't stop just because you go to jail.
Ah, that's true.
There's just as much crime in jail as there is out of jail. Trust me, I know.
But what are the odds that the man's going to get out at 50 some years old and start committing more crime?
Well, my concern is him coming out and being institutionalized.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, think about it. He was still in his formative years.
Yep.
When he was incarcerated. And that is the only thing he has known for 40 years, 30 years. He may have finished his education, but that's,
Oh yeah, they're saying he's gotten a couple of degrees.
Can people be rehabilitated? Sure. Is he rehabilitated? I have no clue. And you won't know until you let him go.
Right.
And that's the risk. Look at where we're at right now. There was some kid in, I want to say North Carolina. It's like 17 years old, has 277 different charges against him in his life.
Jesus.
277 different charges, and you're not even 20 yet?
Why hasn't his parents been brought up on charges?
Again, he can be rehabilitated outside of prison. Apparently not. Now, I don't know what all of his charges are, but I think 277 is a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Actually, I think 4 or 5 is a little ridiculous, but you can get that in one instance for one crime. But still, 277? I mean, a lot of people that go to court have multiple charges and they plea deal out and only get one of the more minor charges.
Right.
So look at where we're at. It's, and this whole Garcia guy that they've been trying to deport for 8 months now. And apparently we still can't deport him.
Well, that's these district judges stepping their noses in where they don't belong.
You know what they should do? They should just put him on a plane and ship his ass out and then go, oh, we can't find him.
I thought they did that once.
No, that was some other guy, and he was already on the plane, and they were not turning it around.
Right.
But again, they need to put his ass on a plane and go, oops, we must have had a mix-up. Oh, well.
There's some of these people that just should never, ever, ever have an opportunity. You know?
I agree.
I don't understand why these judges, and I've yet to have one make sense to me in their ruling. All right. A person had committed a crime when they entered our country. Plain and simple. They're here in the country illegally. They're given deportation orders 10 years ago. And for one reason or another, they didn't leave. Why should a judge now kick in and say, sorry, but you can't deport them? They were told they had to leave years ago. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I don't get how the leftists can go, oh, well, he's broken no crimes. He came into the country illegal. That's crime number one. All other crimes matter not. That's the one we're charging him with. He's gone.
Well, no all the other, and the fact that they've been in the country for years.
Don't care.
I don't care.
Broke the law. He's here illegally. Oh, well, he's been contributing. I don't care. He broke the law and he should be punished for it. But he's contributing to society. Don't care. Let me punch you in the face. Now, 10 years from now, I want you to try and sue me for it. It doesn't change the fact that the incident still happened. Still here illegally.
And
everything else is moot.
And that is all that matters. They're in the country illegally.
And I even have issue with, I don't know how to word it, but I have issues with illegal immigrants that come over here and kill somebody. What do we do with them? Do we lock them up and give them 3 squares and, free health care and all of that because they killed somebody? Or do we deport them? Deporting them is going to do nothing for the families. And locking them up is going to do nothing for the country. I mean, yeah, there's a third option, but I'm not going to go there. But
right. Well, and then there's always the island option.
Yeah, it's called the rest of the world.
Oh, no. When I say the island option, I'm talking about an island.
Escape from New York?
Yeah, but I'm thinking like a middle, an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and drop them off, give them a case of MREs, and that's it.
Yeah, and you'll have every other country out there going and picking them up, and then they'll be right back in the country in 6 months. I mean,
So-
deport them's the exact. I mean, that's the exact same thing. I mean, we can't just kill them. I'm not saying that's the option, but neither of the two legal options are. Neither of them are any good. Stop them from coming here. That's the only option.
It's like I said, if I had my druthers, the government would nationalize, would take by eminent domain a 100-yard stretch along the entire southern border. 100 yards. There'd be 2 walls built, and the center portion would be patrolled. And what can't be patrolled by vehicle or horseback would have AC-130s and Blackhawks patrolling in the air. And that would take care of that issue.
I just line the inner wall with turrets. If you make it over the first wall, you're just going to get shot.
No.
We'll shoot you before you get here.
I loved, Greg Abbott's, he had them barrels with the concertina wire floating on the American side of the border.
Oh, yeah.
That was great. I loved it.
Yeah. All along the Rio Grande.
Mm-hmm. I thought that, that was a rather thinking out of the box solution.
Sure.
Didn't have a whole heck of a lot of people coming over them barrels now, did he?
Nope.
And they didn't try to go under them either.
Yeah, well. If we can keep the Democrats out of power for at least 2 more terms, we might be okay.
Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. And right now, my gut feeling is we're going to lose the House, if not the Senate, in the midterms.
Yeah, but I'm thinking bigger picture of holding the presidency.
Well, see, the problem is that if you lose the House, especially if you lose
I understand, but even having a Republican president and losing control of one or even both. Granted, with Trump, it's a different story, but with their, we're going to impeach him. As a matter of fact, they just had another impeachment hearing.
Democrats, the Democrats, I mean, they've been swearing impeachment on him now the whole time.
But we'll say for the sake of argument, J.D. Vance wins the next term. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of, we're going to impeach him, because they don't have anything to impeach him on or attempt to impeach him on. So
they've announced that they're going to impeach Hegseth
and Patel.
Oh yeah, and Patel. When the Democrats start talking like that, that's just telling me that these guys are doing their job too well.
Sure. But again, I think it's going to be, in my personal opinion, it's going to be a requirement that we control the Republicans control the presidency for at least 2 more terms after Trump. Otherwise, I think we're screwed.
As long as we don't, as long as we've got a president who thinks like Trump and not one who thinks like GW.
Yeah.
I liked GW at the time, but in hindsight, especially after having Trump in office, I'm starting to like him less and less.
He was more a talking piece, no
Yeah.
action. Even though he claimed it, he was not effective.
So, well, I have got to go.
Yep. I kept you an extra 30, 40.
That's okay. Life is good. But it's amazing how many appointments I've got in the afternoons now. It's absolutely disgusting. So,
All right, buddy.
but everybody, try to have a good day. Thanks for coming on there, old guy. Much appreciate you.
Well, I figured it was so late it wasn't going to be worth the bother, but you didn't have anything else, so I'm like, we'll talk about some water.
Yep. And you really do need to get your avatar fixed.
It's from having a new computer. I have one. I just have to find it again.
So, okay. Well, everybody be good. Be back on Monday. All things, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Obviously, be with the ones you love. Love the ones that you're with. And have fun.
See y'all next time.